DTMreview.com here with another Retro Rampage podcast. This one is episode 23, and it's a bit of a somber episode. Obviously, the topic of the day and the week is Iwata, beloved Nintendo president, passing away from, obviously something that nobody really knew about.
Yeah.
And what was it, like some kind of a growth in his bile duct, or is that, It's not a condition that I've ever been familiar with anybody having, but I guess he's been fighting it for a couple of years. And while it wasn't public information, I guess they said that that's why he was absent from like E3 stuff last year.
Oh yeah.
Does that sound right to you? It kind of sounds like it's ringing a bell. But I guess it was one of those things where he missed out on an event like that. And they might have said something, health reasons or whatever, but they never really touched on. And, he was back at work the next week doing a Nintendo Direct and nobody questioned it. But I do think that's interesting. I wonder how, the public doesn't need to know that stuff. I understand. So it's kind of interesting to see a figure like that just sort of abruptly pass to most people. But, as a business standpoint, he sounds like the kind of guy that wouldn't have wanted to be a downer. Yeah. Because he was so uppity. He was obviously a face of Nintendo. He was very positive, and you could tell working for him, it was like a really high morale in in that place. So I can understand that, but of course they had to have known about it in the office per se.
Yeah.
So, but even then, it's funny because had they known about it, you would have thought they would have sort of been grooming a successor. And but by some of the updates and comments and stuff I've heard from Nintendo's end, it just seems like they weren't counting on it because it's like they're not ready for it, So yeah. I don't know how abrupt this death was, but anyway, obviously we can talk about that aspect of it, but we want to talk about just the legacy and all that stuff. And he jumped on board. I believe he signed on as director in 2000, and then he became president in 2002. And I believe his first game as director was Majora's Mask.
Nice.
I remember that. Ocarina of Time came out in 98, and then this new guy stepped in, and his first mission order was Majora's Mask. And at the time, I didn't know what to think about it. I'm like, hey, it's Ocarina 2. Yeah. But we don't really have to get into that game. It's got a humongous fan base. It's a little polarized, a little divided, but the people
it came out a lot quicker. They just used the same engine and everything, didn't they?
Yeah, it's what I say. Yeah, it looks like it's the same engine. They added some new mechanics in it, but yeah, it came out 2 years later.
Yeah.
So that's
probably the quickest any of them has ever done that.
That's a damn fine turnaround for a Zelda game. So, but anyway. So he's going to be remembered for that, I think, as well. But he was a developer for many, many years. He was with Nintendo for 30 years, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't have his bio right in front of me, so forgive me. This is still pretty fresh news, but he worked on Balloon Fight, which is a classic.
I don't think I played that one.
You never played Balloon Fight?
I don't think so.
He's responsible for, without him, you wouldn't have Kirby. You wouldn't have Dreamland.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'm not the hugest fan of the Kirby games, to be honest with you, but he's definitely a huge Nintendo mascot, and It's a big franchise. So anyway, he was with the company for a long time as a developer first. Then, he was definitely on the corporate end towards the latter end of his life. But I just think, I don't know. It's one of those things where I haven't been online since they announced it. Actually, somebody told me about this. It's not like I surf online all the time, but it's definitely one of those things where I'm pretty sure industry people are all just kind of giving shout outs and giving their best memories of the guy and sort of their fond memories of the games that he was a part of, whether it's rivals or not. Can you vouch for that? I'm pretty sure people from Sony are giving condolences and giving tributes, and people even from Microsoft and all these different things. I don't know, but it's sad biz, man. Let's see. He's been in control for a little while. It's been like 15 years. How do you think the face of Nintendo, if at all, is going to change?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I'm sure there's going to be changes, but I don't know if it'll be because of that. Because I know that they've been trying to get like stuff, like I just heard that they're really trying to get third party support with this new system.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's another thing. Yeah, that's another thing. This sort of abrupt change happening in the middle of this weird period for Nintendo in development of a new system. Now, I don't know. I wonder if somebody jumping in and stepping up is going to drastically change Iwata's vision. Or are they going to honor a huge chunk of his vision? I'm not saying Iwata was the be all end all in deciding what the NX would be. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
But I'm just saying, I wonder how much things are going to shift. But,
yeah, it's hard telling.
But yeah, I mean, I think that they mentioned that I'm horrible with names and I'm horrible right now, but they said right now that there are candidates for a successor, and one of those one of the big candidates for succeeding him is Miyamoto.
Oh, right, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which is funny. I mean, like, I guess that's not out of the realm of possibility because, Iwata was a developer, but it just seems like if you were a game developer, does that necessarily mean that you want to be a president of a company? Don't they seem like totally different titles?
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what Iwata did. But I guess Miyamoto is next up. But I think I read that until they decide on an official successor, right now Miyamoto, along with somebody else, I forget the name, are running the show until they get that worked out. But I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, I'm not saying I don't know how he is with business, but doesn't Miyamoto sound like the next best thing or an equal as far as being a good face for He's already a face for Nintendo.
Yeah.
People already know his face, and he's literally the guy. He's, whereas Iwata, he was a chief architect with things like Kirby. Super Smash Brothers never would have happened without him.
Yeah.
Nobody was biting that. Nobody was biting that idea. But he supported it, and in Balloon Fights, a classic NES title. But Miyamoto, we're talking Super Mario, man. We're talking the big IPs, and
yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, he's at least a good face. He's a good representative, and he was close. I guess he was a close friend to Iwata and all that. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say he's probably the best bet now. Does he want to take his position? Or
I have no idea. I mean, this is all just hearsay. This is all something that I read a small little blurb on that was shared with me, that he was a contender in talks of taking over. I don't know the credibility of something like that. I mean, it's just like hearsay of an article. But but I do guess that he's kind of handling duties along with somebody else right now until they figure it all out. But I really don't think the face of Nintendo is going to change. I mean, Nintendo is what it is. But anyway, Iwata, rest in peace. 55 years old, man. That's insane.
Yeah.
It seems like people these days, a lot of us are dying in our 60s. And to me, that's young. To me, 60s is young.
Like
but
30s and 40s aren't supposed to be middle-aged.
No, exactly. That's exactly right, man. You're right. 30 years old, 32 years old. For me, that's a few years away.
Yeah.
I don't want to say I'm middle-aged. I mean, yeah, we call middle-age 40 to 50, right?
Yeah.
40s and your 50s, middle-age. How many of us really live to be in our 80s to 100, Not a whole lot anymore. So when somebody passes away in their 60s, I still think it's young, but it doesn't shock me because we see enough people dying in their 60s these days. That seems to be the minimum, like WTF, like age for me. It's just like, it's a shame. But man, when you see someone dying anywhere below the 60s, it's just, this is ridiculous.
Yep.
So anyway, my dad passed away when he was 45 a few years ago.
Yeah. My dad was just a couple of days before his 51st birthday.
Yeah, so same ballpark, man. 40s and mid 40s to mid 50s. It's absolutely insane. So anyway, not trying to take away from this event, but I'm just saying that I can empathize. So I'm empathizing with his family and all that stuff. So
sucks, man.
I hate talking about death, man.
Right.
But I don't think he was the type of guy that wanted people to talk about stuff like that. he's probably the type of dude that would want to have a party and just, pop in, at most pop in Balloon Fight and enjoy something he was a part of or whatever, because he was a part of a lot. And, during his time at the top, he saw, I believe, the DS, the Wii, obviously the Wii U, 3DS, I mean, people can say what they want about the Wii U as far as the marketing and the performance. I think the Wii U blows the Wii away.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is it doesn't have a whole lot of support, but I'm telling you, the games that are on it, they all rule. There's not a bad game on the Wii U, especially an IP. And,
it's probably just going to become, the Wii HD. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's what it looks like. But I mean, the thing is even if they cut the Wii U short here in the next 2 years, like we've already talked about with the NX, the thing is the library that we have left when it's all done, even if it's a little shorter than something like the PS4 and the Xbox One, they're all going to be great games. So what's the big deal? I mean, do I really need a Sony PlayStation 1 that has like 1,500 titles where, 70% of them are fluff titles?
Yeah.
So
shovelware.
Yeah, I'm all for quantity, man. And right now, I mean, the Wii was a huge success, massive success. And so he's going to be remembered for that. But let's be honest here, the Wii, I can't see my games for where I'm at right now, but it's classic Nintendo to where I ended up just buying the IPs for the most part. Yeah. And I've got all the big IPs. And
there's a lot of shovelware for the Wii.
A lot of shovelware. It amounts to, I mean, if you were to look at my Wii collection, I don't know how many it is off the top of my head. It's no more than 15 games.
Yeah.
It's really small. But I tell you what, man, it's quality. Like everything in there is like just awesome. Mario Galaxy, Galaxy 2, New Super Mario Brothers.
I'm still finding out about Wii games that I want to check out. Like, you ever heard of a game called Collar? It was like a survival horror game, I guess, where it's kind of based on like Japanese horror. And I guess throughout the game you get calls like on your cell phone, and you actually have to put the Wiimote up to your ear to listen to them. I guess they're pretty creepy. I was wanting to find that somewhere recently. I don't know much about it, but it sounds cool.
Yeah, that does sound cool. But yeah, I mean, like, so the Wii, I think about how much they price pointed the Wii at. I don't remember if it was like $300 or whatever it was. But, I paid $300 and then I ended up with like, the titles I do have are all great. Donkey Kong Country Returns, and even some cool third-party stuff. There's a few third-party stuff. I'm looking at 15 games or whatever. I'm $300 and 15 titles that gave me hundreds of hours of gameplay. I think that's not a waste of money.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I think the Wii U is going to be that as well. And I don't know. I personally think the ideas are cool. Whether or not everybody jumped on board with them, he bled Nintendo. They had their ideas, and he was the face, and he 100% would always support the ideas, and they stuck to their guns. So, I don't know. Don't have much more to say about that. But anyway, I guess we have to learn to, I'm not trying to make a joke in light, but, because, I don't wish ill on anybody, but, I'm not trying to say, oh, it should have been Reggie, do the fucking Johnny Cash thing. Hey, took the wrong son. No, but... people are gonna hopefully people will.
Johnny Cash thing. He said that.
Walk the line, dude. It's the Walk the Line thing
movie
where his brother died, and you got Robert Patrick. He took the wrong son died.
Oh, it should have been Johnny, man.
It's horrible, but like, yeah. So anyway, I don't know. Maybe less people will give Reggie a hard time. Like, it's like makes me think when
I don't hate Reggie.
I don't have anything against Reggie. I don't think he's nearly as fun of a face of the company as someone like Iwata. But anyway, it is what it is. It's going to be great. And if anything, let it all be a dose of mortality for you. Kind of remind you that, mortality is something that is creeping up on all of us. And just, I don't know. Enjoy every sandwich, man. To quote Warren Zevon. But anyway, that's all I got for now, man. Go out and play some Balloon Fight, play a little Kirby, play anything Nintendo. It doesn't matter. And just stop the console hate, man. Stop the console wars. Hopefully, a day like today, the fanboys will stop fighting.
Yeah,
these Xbox, wieners, and these PlayStation wieners and, and these Nintendo wieners. Just everybody just like, isn't this supposed to be a gaming community? Whatever. Speaking of which, I want to say really quick before we end it up, I know I complained up a storm when we did our Xbox episode talking about the that Rare collection. That's our most trafficked podcast. Fuck my life.
Oh, really?
And it burns my soul.
My cousin was telling me that he's been trying to pre-order that game for a long time, and he can't get a copy. It's always sold out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, well, no. Not to bring that back up, but it's a good deal, man. I'll say it right there. But anyway, stop the hate. Everybody get along. Go kiss your fathers and hug your mothers.
Be excellent to each other.
Be excellent to each other. In the words of Abraham Lincoln, party on, dudes. I think Abraham Lincoln, the real Abraham Lincoln, said that. He might have gave another speech in his time, but who cares about that one? But anyway, I'm Aaron.
I'm Zach.
And thank you guys all for joining us, and make sure to leave your fondest memory involving Iwata, Nintendo, and stuff on the YouTube, on btmreview.com, on the Facebook and the Twitters and all that stuff. And yeah, let's be excellent to each other. Peace out, guys.